Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm Brad.
We're 6260 Ohana, California, and today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of Disney's Old Key West.
Yeah, we're going to go into the original DVC resort. What we found, it's actually a resort that's really surprised us. So let's start with our first pro, which is...
Huge rooms.
Wow, those rooms were really big. I was really surprised when we first walked in.
So for a one-bedroom villa that we got, it slept 5 people, and the living area, the room, the kitchen, the dining area, the balcony, and the patio, they were all massive.
Yeah, it really surprised us. We fit everybody in there sleeping very comfortably.
With 4 of us.
Yeah. So to let you know more about the room, we'll link a room tour down below of everything we thought about it, but definitely surprising.
So it is the largest DVC rooms with the exception of the studios and the grand villas, which are bigger at the Riviera. Other than that, the 1 and 2 bedrooms are bigger at Old Key West.
Okay. Let's go into our second pro, which is...
the 3-bedroom grand villa. We actually toured one once when we thought about doing a whole huge family reunion kind of thing.
That thing was massive.
It was incredible. And it was really low amount of points for as big of a room as it is at Walt Disney World. All right, so that 3-bedroom grand villa sleeps 12 people.
Wow.
Yeah, with my family of 9, we almost rented it. It is hard to get those reservations because it is so few points and the amount of people that you can fit in those rooms.
Tip here is actually go to the DVC desk and ask them if they have one open. So if you want to take if you want to take a tour of it to see how big those rooms are.
Yeah, we were blown away when we took the tour.
Okay, let's go to our next pro, which is
the laundry room in the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom villas. It's huge. It's like an actual walk-through room. It's kind of a nice area. It has all the cleaning supplies. It's got full-size washer and dryer side by side. But it's enough. It's like a whole room. It's not just an open closet and there's the stuff.
Mm-hmm. You actually have room to do laundry. And same with the rooms is they also have king-size bed.
In the 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom. That's huge. Not all most DVC rooms do not have king-size beds, so that makes it a lot more comfortable.
And actually, they were really comfortable beds as well.
They were. I was pleasantly surprised.
So let's go to our next one, which there are pools that are spread out throughout the resort.
There are 4 pools at the resort, which is a massive amount, especially with the main pool being the Sandcastle pool that features a 125-foot water slide. The theming is so cool. We wish we would have had more time and gone and spent some time at the pool.
Let's go ahead and go to our next pro, which is Olivia's Cafe.
Okay, we've heard great things. I've looked at the menu. A lot of conch fritters, key lime pie, things like that you would think you would get in Florida, seafood. Easy to get advanced dining reservations at. We decided not to eat there, but it would have been on our list if we'd been there just a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that for being in the resort, it's not that hard to get reservations.
Yeah, there's actually people that go to the resort to try to get meals there. It's so good. It's from what we've heard.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we've heard of people staying off-site at other resorts and then come in to eat at Olivia's.
Talking about food, let's talk about good food to go.
Now this one's kind of interesting because it is a quick service, but it's almost like an outdoor stand.
It's kind of outdoor, indoor. It's like a weird.
It is, but it's got a good variety of food. There's some really good looking food. They also had little key lime pies to go.
Yeah, so really quick if you want to grab something to eat and go, that'd be a good spot to go.
But even better about it is they have a 24-hour rapid refill station that's open. So because they have that kind of snack stand that has a roller that goes down, on the other side is where the beverages are so that you could get your soda at the end of the park day, even if you're back late.
Yeah, what we're talking about is one of these, which are great to have. So.
And of course, I always love to take them home because I use them to drink my coffee on the way to work.
Talking about drinks, how about the Gurgling, Suitcase, Liberations, and Spirits? Whew.
That's a mouthful.
Good thing I didn't have a drink saying that.
That definitely looked like Party Central. It looked like a good time in there.
Yeah, it's really a small area, but there we were having a good time when we walked by.
Oh yeah, if we would have had more time that we hadn't been to the parks, I feel like it was a shorter trip for us, so we didn't take advantage, but I think that's someplace we definitely want to go and hang out.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to another pro, which is the theming of the resort.
I love the whole Key West chill Florida vibe. They've got palm trees everywhere. They've kind of got that. The pinks and the colors of the buildings are really nice.
Yeah, really, from what I felt when I was there, they really nailed Key West.
It was, and it definitely has. They have the music going, little Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, the whole vibe just reminds you of Key West. It was very relaxed. It was a lot of fun. It was.
And of course, you think of Florida, you think of golf courses, and there was lots of those too.
And so let's talk about another pro. Is if you're driving your own car there, you park almost right outside your room.
That was cool because we saw some people that looked like, because it's a value resort, stayed longer, and I don't know how they packed their cars, but I think they had Mary Poppins type bags, like their cars were. They just kept taking more and more stuff out. And if you'd stayed in another resort, like you would have had to make multiple trips down hallways and all that. This was a little bit easier for that.
Actually, some of the bigger families that we saw were staying there had U-Hauls behind their cars with all their luggage in them too. So
yeah, but it's kind of nice because the resort is really spread out, and to have your own car and be able to park right in front of your building would be huge.
Mm-hmm. So talking about luggage, there is a luggage car from the main reception area out to your room.
So from the hospitality house to wherever your room is, they offer a golf cart. And at the same, when you're leaving your room to go back to the hospitality house to leave, they'll come into your room and get them.
Which is really convenient for people like us because we don't have a car there.
And I don't pack lights.
So another positive is there is multiple places to get food and drink refills. And that would be
the Turtle Shack poolside, like snack shack. It's kind of the middle of the resort and back. So you don't have to go all the way to the front to the hospitality house if you want to get something to eat or refill mugs. The only thing I did see is those hours seem like they close really early.
Yeah, it didn't seem as long as what you would have at the hospitality house. But hey, it's there if you're during the day, during a pool day. Hey, might as well.
Or if you're like one road over, one section over, you could hop over there instead of going to the front. So that's easy.
So there are a lot more things going on. There is one place that actually looked a lot of fun we went into, which was Conch Flats Community Hall.
That place was cool. They had, this was a DVC community area. They had different arts and crafts. You could purchase stuff and make different things. I think they had ornaments, and somebody was making pillows. It was just all kinds of artsy stuff and fun. Mm-hmm. That would be great if you were doing a non-park day or a staycation, fun stuff to do.
And they also had things to rent for bikes, for just a whole bunch of different outdoor sport things you could do too as well.
So, and they also had a pool table in there, and they had an area to watch movies and TV, and they had cast members in there. It was just kind of a fun place. We got in there talking with a bunch of people, and we just talking about DVC and Disney, which put me in a room full of community of Disney people. I'm in my zone. I'm the happiest person.
Okay, so another thing is they have the Old Key West Campfire activities.
So that's your roasting marshmallows. That's kind of a cool thing that Disney resorts do. It is offered, of course, at Old Key West as well.
And of course, they also have every Disney resort, movies under the stars.
That's usually in the same area, so you could go and roast your marshmallows and watch movies under the stars. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a nice, relaxing evening.
If you don't want to stay at the resort and you want to go somewhere else to eat for dinner, hey, there's a boat to Disney Springs.
We didn't do it from Old Key West because when we were staying, they were still closed from the pandemic. They have since reopened, but we've done it when we stayed up at the Port Orleans Riverside. That nice little river ride is really beautiful and relaxing. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a different way to travel. And anytime I could get on a boat at Disney World, I really enjoy that slow down pace and kind of look at everything and enjoy being in Florida.
If you didn't want to take the boat, you always can walk to Disney Springs.
Yeah, there's a walkway. I've heard it's a bit of a walk. We did not do this.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit too far a walk for us.
Well, and we also were there in end of July into August, so that weather
was a little warm. Another great thing is if you want to watch fireworks, you can.
So we found by the hospitality house, there's a little bridge, and we could see the fireworks from Epcot. I don't know if you're still going to be able to with Harmonious. We have not seen it. I have not watched any spoilers, but also possible from Hollywood Studios areas. So If there's fireworks, it's kind of a nice way to watch from resort. We were pleasantly surprised that we were able to see fireworks.
And there's a lot more things to do there. As we said it before, there's the Surrey bike rentals.
And there's fishing.
Yeah. There's also tennis. And of course, the big one that was running right through our backyard and woke me up a couple times early in the morning. Golf.
Okay, so now that we've talked about all the really great qualities about...
Oh, no, wait, you forgot one thing.
What?
You forgot. It's actually easier to get last minute reservations at Old Key West.
So this is kind of the place, like I've always looked if we've had a hard time getting a room reservation somewhere else. This is where, like, always my backup plan. Like, you know, so if you're going a week or two out and you didn't get to plan ahead, usually, I mean, of course, in this world where a lot of people have points right now, it might not be the case, but in traditional years, it's been easier to get rooms at Old Key West.
So let's go ahead and get into our cons. Well, we've been discussing it and talking about the 4 pools, a lot of things. It is a huge resort.
It is really widespread. It is like, it has an internal bus system, and it can take a while, like 15 minutes between buses, and it's just really spread out. But of course, that also makes the resort feel a little bit quieter.
Yeah. And we're talking about the cons. It's the confusing bus system. Really, it is a bus that you'll take to like Magic Kingdom or something, but it does these loops, and these loops are supposed to go certain ways, but if you get on the wrong way, you can miss your...
Well, and then from the theme parks, the buses go one direction, and then if you're going to Disney Springs or back, it goes the opposite direction. So, like, or there's times like my mom went to the hospitality house and we were staying at South Point, and she was told that this is the first stop it's supposed to be the first stop coming back from Disney Springs at the hospitality bus, and then you're supposed to loop back into the resort. So she got on that bus, and she even asked the bus driver. He said, yeah, this is the Disney Springs, we go back. Well, she thought this means that we follow the resort and go back into the resort. Well, they took her down to Disney Springs, and then they made her get off the bus and get back on and wait for another bus, which was kind of confusing. I don't know why. But like, in all, she spent 45 minutes on the bus with like her hot meal from Good Food to Go, and she was not a happy camper, to say the least. But considering there's, you know, sometimes the bus driver will feel like going in one direction or the other direction, and, you know, depending if you're going to the resorts or Disney Springs, they're going in opposite directions, so you got to pay attention a bit.
Yeah, they do have a sign up that shows you what it is.
Okay, so we'll just put up a video of the bus schedule, and you can see just how massive it is.
Talking about buses, another con is those buses can be full because they're stopping at several stops, picking up people, and sometimes you could be standing, or in a case that we were in a situation, we got to Community Hall, which was the last stop. People had to get off because they had to put on...
Oh, the ECVs.
Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things to be aware of, that sometimes you have to be patient.
Yeah. And also with the buses, good and bad, they play theme music at Old Key West. So at the beginning of the week, I was like, great, we're hearing Margaritaville and the Deo Banana song. By day 4 and 5, I was like, I cannot hear the Deo song 3 or 4 times a day, and it almost becomes a form of torture. I love those songs, but every day, you know, depending how often you're there, 3+ times a day, it gets a mutt.
So
it gets to be overwhelming, and it gets too much. Like, you're like, oh, if I don't hear the song for a while, I'm okay. And of course, you also, because it's such a big resort, you can have really long bus waits from the parks back to the resort. Yeah. We found sometimes it's 2-3 buses before we got on, or if buses didn't come in order and they were delayed, like I think one time we waited like an hour and a half or more.
The kind of a great thing sometimes you have is if you're at the end of the night, like we were coming home from Disney Springs, is that we got on the bus and the bus driver's like, what stop are you at? And it says stopping. He went right to our stop, let us off right there. It was awesome.
That part was nice.
So there are good things about the buses. So let's go back to the rooms, and here's a negative. There's no coat racks in these rooms.
Okay, but they do have the closet in the front you can put your coats in. It's just not the same, I guess, because we kind of got spoiled like with Copper Creek Villas and Beach Club and
yeah, it's nice to be able to hang up our raincoats or whatever up there in our bags and have them all in one central, easy location to grab and go. The other thing is you're on a golf course. I just mentioned it earlier. I got woke up several times. Yeah, golf balls were hitting our railing sometimes at 7 o'clock in the morning and making a bong.
I keep telling him to sleep with earplugs, but he refuses. I never heard him, but I slept through it.
So you could be on that beautiful porch out front, and sometimes you'll hear 4, and you have to really watch out for those golf balls.
Duck.
Another negative, and we said it was a positive, which is good food to go, but there is a negative to it.
Okay, so Goods Food to Go is a smaller counter service place. It seemed like a lot of times they'd run out of food. So if you had your heart set on
key lime pie?
Yeah, they ran out of that quite a few times. I was really disappointed. I actually never had the key lime pie there because they always ran out.
And this is usually towards the end of the night that we found they were running out of those desserts.
My mom found once or twice too in the middle of the day because my mom would go back earlier.
Oh, okay. So that's one of those things that if you really have your heart set on it and it's there, maybe get it right that moment. Going back to the buildings again, this could be a huge negative for a lot of people, and there's no elevators.
There are a few. It's only in buildings 62, 63, 64, which are all part of Miller Road, which it's a little bit more central, like further back in the resort. They are at a premium. A lot of people like to reserve those because would be a beautiful view to be up high, second floor. But if you're like me and you pack like me, not having elevators is kind of a drawback.
Yeah, or if you're in an ECV or something like that, it makes it really hard if you don't have those elevators if you're on the second floor. So we did talk about earlier the cart from the lobby as a positive, which it is. It really is. But there is a negative. It could be long waits because you are waiting in line for everybody else in those carts.
Yeah, so that's just kind of another thing you have to be aware of. Plan ahead, especially if you really need to, like if you're leaving your room to catch the bus to the air or catch your transportation to the airport. I guess I have to catch myself now since no more Magical Express. You have your alternate transportation option. So whatever you choose, you may have to get back to the hospitality house and you may need to give yourself some time to do that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like of all the resorts, this is a really important place to have a room request.
Yeah, really, like we talked about earlier with the elevators or places you actually kind of want to stay at for view-wise. It would be important.
It's also kind of interesting. Buildings 30 and higher in the 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms actually have 2 entrances into the master bathroom. We'll link our room tour below, like we said, but it shows how our room had 2 entrances into the bathroom. If you didn't have 2 entrances to the bathroom, 5 people, that might get a little awkward.
Yep.
And difficult. So I definitely would say that might be something to take into consideration. Second is if we had to choose something, we actually really would say the Peninsular Road. Buildings 27, 28, and 29 are closer to the bus stops. I feel like I like that because remember we said buses go in both directions depending on where you're going. That being said, if you're the first one being dropped off at the end of the night, like after theme parks, you're right there. You don't have to drive through the whole resort. But that's a drawback at the end of the day. But the nice part is there's a bridge with a quick walk over to the hospitality house. So you could wait in the hospitality suites area so that you don't have to go through the whole loop. But then again, you also might have full buses and such. Or you could drop off the hospitality house on the way from Disney Springs and then just walk over instead of going through the whole resort backwards. So just kind of, I feel like that's a really good central location that you wouldn't have to deal with the buses quite as much.
So another thing with the buildings is Building 55 is near the walkway to Disney Springs, which makes it easy.
Yeah, if you're going down there and you want to spend a lot of time at Disney Springs and you don't want to wait for buses or boats and just do it on your own time, just another room request that you can take into consideration.
So if you're finding this video helpful, please like,
subscribe,
and follow along with our Ohana. So as you can tell, we love this resort, and it was a big surprise to us that we actually really liked it.
One of the things is our teenage son said he really wants to come back here. That's like a huge deal for us when our son says he wants to come back. He doesn't do that with all the resorts. He doesn't make a big deal out of a lot of them. But here he's like, you know what? I really liked it.
So with that, I think it's time for us to say goodbye and
Find your magic. Bye, everyone.